Hey, Dave Oslin here. We just finished forming and pouring a foundation here in beautiful Marina, California. I'm going to give you a few minute brief overview of how we put the subfloor on from here on out. Jesse's here. He's putting down the mudsill. We like 3x mudsill. You're putting so many engineered nails into lumber now. Even though code just calls for a 2x, I like to go for a 3x. In fact, I'm going for a 3x8 here, just because you just have more meat. Instead of shredding a piece of wood apart, you have a little bit of meat there to put all those nails in. Girder hanger. We got a rim joist on, got our vent holes cut, girders, interior girders, 4x6, access hole. Okay, it's lunchtime. This is the morning's work here. Got our rim up. Of course, our vent holes cut. Jesse's finishing off that girder and posts. We'll be ready to roll joist here in a couple hours. Okay, well, we've got the floor going now. We're starting to roll joist here. We should have them all rolled tomorrow. Then we have to block everywhere. Every place there's a bearing point, we need to block. For instance, between these joists over this girder in here, there needs to be a solid block between every one of those, as well down here. Anyway, we're getting it. We should have it pretty well buttoned up tomorrow. You should notice something here. So from our foundation, we're going to have continuous bolts here and there strategically placed for hold downs. A hold down is a steel framing member attached to wood that's inside a wall panel that actually does what it's called out, holding the whole house down on the foundation. Hold downs, quite common in pretty much every structure built now. Take a look at the plumbing in a second. Okay, Brian Goodman from Goodman's Plumbing did our underfloor. Ace plumber. I've been using the guy for the last 30 years. Came in and one day did this whole underfloor by himself. At the end of your runs, you're going to have a clean out. So Brian has brought a clean out all the way out here, the outside of the house, so it's easily accessible. And again, way over in front of the truck there, you will see a pipe standing up there. There's a 10-foot stack of water on that to pressurize the system. That's required. So before we button this floor up, Jesse's going to go around, double check all the bolts, especially the bolts, because they tend to loosen up a little bit after you first install them. So just before we close this thing up for the rest of the life of the building, Jesse's going to go around and double check everything for tightness. Okay, so we've got our subfloor all framed in. We're ready to insulate this floor now and put our plywood down so we can start building walls. Again, you'll notice over every bearing point, for instance down in here there's a girder. We've got a solid blocking everywhere there's a bearing point. We have an interior foundation here. Again, solid blocking all the way down. Our underfloor plumbing's in. And yeah, just waiting for an inspector now. And then we'll insulate it and put the plywood down. Okay, 4.5 hours later, 5 hours later, here we are. Subfloor is all down. Only thing is sticking up are the hold downs and any plumbing for the lower story. So there it is. Now we're going to start snapping lines out on the subfloor and building walls on top of those.